Today, we're working on a lot of our Christmas items that really sold well in our last festival we did. So we're going to take a little cedar picket and we're going to turn it into a snowman. All right, so the first decision before we get started is to decide how tall you want the snowman to be. The first one here is 3 foot. This one's 4, but we've got a 6 foot cedar picket, so we can make it any size we want. Okay, so let's make the snowman 3 feet. Okay, so the first thing, let's make the hat. Mark in 1 inch, and then we'll mark down 3 inches. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to mark these with a Sharpie just so it's easier for you to see. Usually I would not do this, I would use a pencil. So each one of these are 3 inches down from the top of the board. The next thing we want to do is we're going to come in 1 inch from our 3 inch mark. And we're just going to angle these back up to give us that notch. The overall bottom part of the hat is 2 inches. So we'll just measure down 2 inches to know where our black line needs to go. So there's our hat. So let's get a jigsaw and we'll cut these pieces out. These little pieces that we cut off, we're going to hang on to those. We're going to use those a little later. So as you can see with our other snowman, we made some indentions just to kind of give him the circular stack snowman look. So we'll just find something to, you can either freehand these or you can find something to make a stencil out of so that you have the same look on each one. Okay, so I redid some of these wilder indentions that I made and cut them out a little bit better. So we'll sand this down and get the marker off of it before we paint it. All right, now that we've got the overspray corrected, let's pick out some buttons and a face to go on our snowman. So I've got some parts and pieces left over from the last snowman that we did. The snowflake, I believe, came from Hobby Lobby, and then we've got some buttons that I probably ordered off of Amazon. But we'll just stagger some of these and glue them down, and then we're still missing something. Let's go see how we're going to do the face. So I may have cheated a little bit since I'm not an artist. So what I did was I cut out a face on a Cricut, and now we're going to just transfer it over, and then we'll glue the buttons and everything down. So the next thing we want to do before we put the mouth on, we don't leave room for our nose. And if you remember from our original pieces that we cut out, we're going to use these as our nose. And then I'll add the mouth to it. I think he's going to turn out good. Let's go paint the nose and we'll start gluing things down. Before we start gluing the nose and other pieces on, how many of you figured out where the nose came from? The nose was from cutting out our hat, so not wasting any pieces. All right, so I used the Type Bond Quick and Thick for the nose. And we'll just stick it anywhere here. It doesn't really matter where you put it. We'll use a little Star Bond. You see my labels going, but it's just basically super glue. And it doesn't matter where this guy ends up at. Just drop him on and let him sit. All right, guys, here's our finished product. Very easy to build. I say build. There really wasn't much building to it. We cut a couple of notches and cut the hat out. So very easy item to make and sell at craft fair. So give it a shot and let me know how it turns out for you. And if you haven't, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.